welcome everyone to Random Talks episode 2. And today I have with me Utkarsh, Vishwajit, and Bhargava. Right. So, so the idea for Random Talks, well, as the name suggests, like we just talk about any random topic that is of interest that comes up.
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe before we begin the talk, just to give a bit of context. So you guys are working together on a startup, right?
Yep.
So could you just share a bit about that?
Sure.
Hey, bro.
There.
And
He
now
also works with us. He's
come
a
join
visual designer.
All right. So three of us: Vishwajit, me, Utkarsh, Abhiraj.
Right.
We are working on a startup which is primarily about consumers' data privacy and how they represent their identity on the internet, and how you can, as individuals, control what your data is, while still, being able to benefit from it. Primarily, that's it.
We're doing a podcast. Yo. You want to come join? It's called Random Talks. We're in episode 2.
She can join because she just came randomly.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, watch my channel. It's kind
Already. matlab, yeah. Oh, thank you. Nice. So, in Random Talks, we talk about anything that comes up. So, since you're here, what would you like us to talk about?
Okay.
Hmm.
We can talk about some fun stuff or some.
Whatever you feel now. Don't think
Fun
so
stuff.
much.
Okay, then I'll ask you guys a question maybe.
Cool. Okay.
Okay.
What does alignment with the inner self mean to you? That was Guruji's laughing there. I know that's not so fun, you know. I could make it more fun.
It's okay. Now it's random. It's already
Okay.
selected. Yeah. So,
What is your inner ding?
ding. I like the previous one more. So, how do you align yourself?
How do I align ourselves, or what do you understand by aligning with yourself?
Inner self. You have an inner self.
I think it's about becoming aware of the things that are working inside,
And
the
then
things that you experience, and then once you understand them, you start moving with them instead of against them. And when you don't understand them, you are likely to work against them, and that sort of creates this need to understand and align. So that's
Okay.
what we're doing.
So you become aware first, and then you understand them, and when you're understanding, then you move with them, and that is alignment.
To me, yeah.
Okay.
What do we mean by them?
Awareness of
Of
like
those things, those
What is
mechanisms.
those things? Like what
mechanisms,
are those mechanisms?
whatever these dynamics are, we see.
That, like, if I had to what does that even mean? Like,
Movements.
I could maybe express it for you.
Okay.
You become aware of what is going inside your mind. True? Or your feelings or your energies, right?
Yeah, the self, in whatever form, maybe physically, whatever that aspect is.
So you become aware of your physical aspects and your mental aspects.
The self, basically.
The
What we,
physical self.
yeah, all forms, all parts of the self.
So physical self, mental self, and emotional self, you could say.
Yeah, you could categorize in that way.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What about you?
Alignment with oneself. I think it's a spectrum, not a binary thing.
Mhm.
Like you said, right? I mean, there are different categories: alignment with one's body, alignment with one's own perceived identity, like who am I, what am I, right? Once, functionally speaking, once you are aligned, the objective or the result usually is supposed to be that you are not fighting anything, right? And you are just at peace. But then, I mean, that's one point. I believe that because it's a spectrum, then you start aligning with things around you. You start aligning with the biodiversity, you start aligning with maybe the climate.
Okay.
I mean, it all depends on how much signals you are trained to receive. So
Okay.
eventually it's just alignment.
Okay. That was a lot of words.
Could align be
No, it
alignment
was
be-
good. It was good. It's just because it started with binary and spectrum. I was like, okay, but I get it. Yeah, you said that basically once you receive alignment with yourself, you eventually receive alignment with everything,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, sure. Yeah, but we're like the conversation started with alignment with the self, and how do you align with yourself?
Hmm,
Or
I think the basics of it start with just by talking to yourself,
Hmm.
right? What you expect of yourself, or what you understand by expecting. What's up, man?
He
It's
needs
like,
love,
I
bro.
want, I want to be part of random conversations.
I will go.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
See your blood. Okay, so like aligning with myself in the sense, with myself in the I in a way I see self as something, as a constantly observing thing. We are all one constantly observing thing. So when I say I'm aligning myself, so there's a lot of thoughts running in your mind and all. So you get back and be aware, just observing the thoughts. So you're just going with your busy day and a lot of things running on your mind. So just to get back with yourself, like you just keep observing the thoughts instead of just going with the thought. So that's how I see.
So my question would be, how do you know when you're aligned and when you're not aligned?
Yeah, maybe you could answer. I have a very good answer to that.
No, please answer because
What-
Oh,
One
maybe
by
you can
one.
answer the
Yeah.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, after everyone goes.
I mean, it's not a different or a separate effort to me.
As in,
Acha. Aligning myself, I don't see it as a separate activity.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much aligned all the time. Even when I'm sleeping, even when I'm awake, even when I'm in the most busiest of the places, in the most tensest of the places, I'm aligned. I'm not distracted by the things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't have much to say in this.
How do you know you're aligned with your true self?
How do I
you
know? Because I
Like-
don't have to think.
You don't have to think. You're
just
thinking
knows
right
it.
now.
I'm not. I don't have to think to get aligned. Thinking is a very absurd concept to me. I don't get it. When people say thinking, I don't understand what is thinking.
You know you have a mind, right?
Okay, you could say, but now, like, what's the point of the conversation?
Just asking you if you have a mind. Yes? Do you have
It's a
a
very
mind?
difficult question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You think you're very aware person?
I don't think I have a mind.
You don't think you have a mind?
I don't think I have a mind.
Well, that's what you said.
But you're not thinking, bro.
I'm not thinking of like if I have mind, if I have body, if I have heart or anything. I just go with the flow. That's keeping me. I mean, I'm pretty much intact for a long time, and I do the things with very ease. There isn't much effort.
Sure.
I'm
Are
very
you
sure.
Do you observe yourself?
There's nothing much to observe in myself.
Why?
Why?
Yes. Why would you say you don't have much to observe in yourself?
Like self. What self?
Do you have feelings?
I mean, I can sense things around me.
Yeah. Can you
It goes
sense-
away. New things come.
Can you sense yourself?
I can sense a lot.
How do you feel right now?
I'm feeling good.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure. What is that?
I see. You feel good, huh?
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, man. Okay, so but how do you guys feel aligned? He's already aligned. He's always aligned. I mean, I appreciate it. You know, everyone has a different way of experiencing life, and it's cool.
Mhm.
So how do you know? So he said when he's observing and not getting caught in the thoughts, he feels aligned. If there was one emotion that you could express or say that emotion aligns you with yourself,
There is an immediacy to the experience in your line.
immediacy. What
Yeah,
does that mean?
it's I don't know how to describe it. It's very raw. You're not you're not consciously, there is no self-consciousness, you're just
Yeah. Okay.
it's
That
not
state of flow, right?
it's not
Yes.
cycling back. There is no like, and usually
Ye-
there's planning you ahead, you think ahead, so you're not aware of the fact
And then
that
when you're doing it, you're observing yourself and thinking whether you're doing it right or not. But then there are things that you do, and when you enter this state of flow, and then you just exit it, and then you just realize, okay, that was good and fun.
Isn't it kind of interesting? Like if you, it's like the opposite, no, in a sense that when you are aware of the self, that's when you're kind of like there is this whole feedback loop that's
yes,
happening.
yeah,
Like you're aware of yourself in a situation, like there's a
Yeah.
party, there's people, there's like things going on, and then there is this sense of self and there's this awareness. And then what you're talking about is like the opposite, when there is actually no
self.
awareness
there
of
is
the
no
self,
yeah,
and
exactly.
there is just activity, like
Yeah,
you're
there's
just
yeah.
doing, like say for example, maybe Tutsi for example, he's always in that state
Yes, yeah.
where he doesn't really like self reflect, and then he's just interfacing with his environment and
Yeah,
input
very,
stimulus
very,
and all of that stuff,
Well
Yep.
put.
right? And it's kind of the
Yes, yes,
Okay.
that's exactly what I was talking about.
Okay. So I asked the question, which was, if there was a feeling that you could describe that you feel when you're aligned with yourself, what would that be?
like see, to me, first
go
of all, like even the concept of like aligning with yourself, it's like, because over here, again going back to language, right? Because this is probably, yeah, we can actually talk about communication, right?
Yeah,
It's an interesting
absolutely.
topic, I would say, where because see, words can mean such different things,
to
and
different
then we can look like we're having a conversation, yet each person is creating an entirely different construct in their own head. And it's like these symbols come out, and then these symbols get interpreted in like vastly different
Fit
ways,
into
in like
completely different
very
puzzles, yeah.
exactly, right? Because if we were to think of this question, like aligning with the self, right?
Yeah.
Now each word can be kind of
Yes.
like thought about, right? Maybe the word with is a bit easier to comprehend, but like align
The
and
whole
self.
idea of what is that, for example, that's why he's like, I feel aligned, I am who I am, so he has like a different way of going about it, and then we are thinking more, okay,
Right,
I
so
am this observer and kind of
because
doing this.
when you're thinking what is the self, and what does alignment mean, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm sure like to each person, like it means a very different thing,
Yes.
right?
So, but then basically the starting, because I started the question, so maybe I can like finish the loop.
Yes.
So there is this inner self, and then there is this like physical expression of that inner self, right? Because we came to this body, and then we're more than this body, for
but
sure.
what do you
right?
mean by inner? Because that creates an outer, no?
Yeah, because we.
How do
of
you know
course,
you have an inner self that is separate
because-
from your outer self?
because there is this life force, that is there, which the body dies, but you still exist. In my experience, from different.
But you're not dead. So
Yeah,
how
but-
do you know that you will exist after your death?
I have had different experience, and I am not sure. I don't know 100% of anything, but like, let's start with this premises. Like all three of you could agree to this, that there is this life force, and then you have a body, and then you will pass on, right? Right? Yeah. Could you agree or no?
I mean, I would agree that there is a force, but I wouldn't know how to differentiate it from this.
Body.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Maybe I agree with
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying, but I do understand the life force and how it projects onto different vessels.
Yeah, exactly, right? We got like a body, and then there's a life force that came into this body, to planet Earth. Kind of,
Yeah.
we can kind of agree to this, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So now, so there is this inner self, and then there is this physical expression of that self. How do you know? Like the question was basically, because I started the question,
Right.
was that how is it that you know that you're in alignment with the inner self?
But see, again, there's like so many issues with that question, I see, because what is this you over here? What is this inner self? What is this outer
There
self?
are two yous,
What is, like,
basically. Yeah.
how did all of these things come about?
Yeah. Who created those two?
Right.
years?
And
Yeah, just now
like,
in the
because
conversation. you
if there's a
came in.
possibility for alignment, then there's like a possibility for misalignment.
Yeah.
Then how do these things happen? Like,
Yeah.
how does misalignment
is
happen?
what we're exploring.
So, because, and that depends on the nature of the inner self and this outer self, and the
Yeah.
connection between the two.
Exactly what we are exploring. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
That's a
it's
good
hard
one.
to say. No, it's like
That's why.
because-
That's how I can. That's why, like, I'm exploring, and I could like just express how I go about it. If I had to express like my alignment, when
Right.
is it that I feel there's this spirit, and then there is this vessel in which the spirit is. And when is it? Because the spirit is driving the vehicle. So when is it that?
But see, again, these are all words that you're using,
Yeah.
right?
But we
And
kind
there's
of
like
came in alignment with those words.
not necessarily, I wouldn't say so, because each word, I would say for sure over here, each person has a very different connotation in their mind with respect to that.
Then all conversations are futile. This random conversation is very random.
That's why it's called random talks. No, but conversation is not futile. You can still functionally do things like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm starving.
Drinking
Can
water.
you pack one, meals
Can
for
you-
me, or
Can
like
you
they
roll
get some
one,
masala dosa
some
or
stuff?
some things like that. It's like rolling masala dosa. Dosa. Yeah. Right.
So we
No,
dropped
see,
the
because
conversation.
because see, when you talk about things like spirit and self and alignment and misalignment, it's like, so there are like very different ideas that come in,
Yeah.
right? Because maybe, like, to me, I could also think of, since I was talking on the concept of gaming before this, right? If I take the concept of spirit as that which is like controlling this avatar, right? And so in that sense, like, the analogy that I could give is like when you're playing Dota, like you would be the spirit of the
The character you're playing.
character that you're playing.
Yeah.
And alignment and misalignment in that context could be like, maybe if somebody just rang your bell and you're like in the middle of the game, and then you just had to like you ordered some stuff on Swiggy, it's like, now this dude is here, and then you have to like go take it, but then the game is not going to get paused for whatever reason. So you like just send your character back to base, and then you, in the time that you go and collect this order, right? And in that sense, maybe that could be like misalignment.
Yeah, it is a form of misalignment.
Because your character is just like,
We are
like
having random
not really
conversations.
getting inputs from you. Maybe, it's like in one sense. And yeah, but then when you're like completely involved, and that could be seen as alignment.
What can be seen as
Because-
when you're completely involved? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
when
good
you're
one.
completely
You're
involved.
in flow, right?
Like
Yeah.
that, I could say, yeah. And when is it that you're completely involved? How do you feel? Is a good question.
I mean, I personally think that when I'm super involved, I am not there. I don't think it's just things happening, and then when I get out of it, then I realize, okay, well, that was fun.
That
Right.
was fun. You basically, it was fun.
Yeah, it
There
was
is there's a feeling of fun.
dance fun.
Have a good
You
time.
dance, he said, awesome, man. I like
Mm.
that.
Mm.
Having a good time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So awesome. Then we have kind of come to the conclusion that when we are aligned with our inner self, we are having a good time. What are those feelings you like? If you had to describe in terms of like feelings,
Ecstasy.
Euphoria.
euphoria, very nice.
Satisfaction, peace.
Satisfaction, peace, and
Fulfilled.
fulfilled. You feel joy.
I think he should answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one.
He's a very different
He's
perspective.
always in that anyways.
Yeah, so-
He's always aligned.
Just except for normal, say anything else.
How
do you feel?
His spirit is never going away to like pick up Swiggy orders on the side, so he's always connected.
I mean, like what? Like feelings, like happy, sad, like what?
Yeah, you have to describe it in those words.
What
What
do
is
you-
feelings, dude?
What do you feel when you are aligned? Like, how do you feel?
Dude, I feel connected. I mean,
What
there's
does
no
that-
there's no separation of me and the other. I
But
don't see
how
you
can-
as
how can
different.
you
I see as
know-
an extension of myself.
Okay, how do you see
That's
the concept of being connected if you've never been disconnected?
Sorry.
Like, you would know the concept of connection only when there's a concept of disconnection, right? Like, you plugged in the LAN cable, and then
mean,
it's like
That's
now
a
you
good
plugged
one.
out the LAN cable,
That's
right?
a
That's
good
how
one.
you know that the
Yeah.
LAN cable is
So
plugged in.
so maybe what does
Awesome.
disconnection feel like?
I like that one.
Yeah.
Thinking.
That should be the real question. Like this.
Again, I mean, to me, they're not different.
Connection, disconnection.
Uh-huh. I don't see them as like I said. I don't see things as different. I see them as one.
So if you have to describe in 5 words, you have to specifically describe in 5 words only. How do you feel? And
How
different
can we
words.
put these things in words? I don't understand.
It doesn't matter. How
I
can
cannot
you?
put things in words. I mean, I'm feeling so many things that I cannot put in words. I'm going
So
through
many, right?
so many things right
More than
now.
5, definitely, right?
By words, what are words, man? It's
Just-
just chunks of
So that I can,
sounds that we're trying to like. क्या बोलते हैं यार?
Label abstract
हाँ,
things. no? It's
exactly,
Like,
and
yeah,
it's-
because like
I don't even know what the color is.
words are attempt to describe the connection, right?
What is the color of this Is this white? Is this off-white? Is this
I-
yellow? Is this
Words are
fading off?
by
Is
nature
brown?
incomplete
You
description.
you
said
said-
you
you said
feel
five.
connected with things. What do you feel like? You said something like it should mean something, no?
Maybe if I can have a go at it.
Yeah.
See,
I'm
maybe
not good
if
with words.
if I like if I think of this concept where there is like a black hole
Yeah.
that is surrounded by a field of information, and this
Yeah.
information goes and sinks into the black hole, and this is like one continuous loop of sorts, right? And now instead of a black hole, like if you can kind of swap that out with like this thing in your eye where there's like, I would actually like, yeah, not the eye, probably there's another center,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
would say, because there's like other sets
Receiver,
of informations that is
Yeah.
coming in, right? And there's like all of this input that goes and feeds into like this center, which is
Yeah.
always just receiving input and information, right? And yeah, because I get his point, because that's how I think about it as well. Because like, yeah, what does green even mean? Like, possibly what we are referring to is like, okay, there's like a light wave that has come, hit it at a certain angle, and then it's just carrying this information that it's like maybe some
And also, it's
750.
not green. It is not green.
Right? No, it's a
I mean,
construct
calling
of
it
my
not
mind.
even as a concept. I mean, there's so many gradients. I cannot define like what
Yeah.
No,
those
that's-
gradients are.
See, that's okay, no, because for
It is not a
practical,
singular color.
no, see, for practical purposes of nomenclature, we have used certain things. See, obviously, there is going to be like infinite variations of things,
Hmm.
right? Even like if I take like the number line, like obviously, like we get it that when you're going from like 1 to 2, there's like infinite points in between.
Yeah, but actually, color you can. There is a called wavelength.
Yeah, exactly.
So that if you take a light, there is 760 nanometers is basically red.
Okay.
660 is green.
But
Hmm.
that is how a machine would record something. But if I as a human, as a instrument is recording it, I don't have I don't have the
Yeah,
number.
but you see, the
Well,
color,
maybe
color,
if you
color is a
really
mixture of three
consciousness
colors,
evolves,
RGB.
you can
Red,
you
green,
can
green,
do
and
it
blue.
also.
No, you could make every color into. You can break it down with RGB. It
Yeah,
might as well be anything else.
yeah, but,
Yeah.
but you see, you break things down so you can understand this world better.
Yeah, yeah.
So like the purple and
But
violet, for
even-
example, right?
Hmm.
So one of those is a real color, right, with a real wavelength, and the other one is just a combination of RGB. But to human eyes, they feel very same. But one of them
Wouldn't
is a
you
real
say
color
that
with a
all
real
of them are
you
just
see, you can measure things without human eye. You see, RGBs, like if you are designing things, right? That's how it works. That like there is a true color on the display. You can you can create, right? So there are displays that can display this true color, and then you can simply break these things down and with this with the precision tool you can what you call
Measure it.
measure it basically.
No,
It's measurable.
I get that. I get that.
So if you see it, I see it differently. Like because we're not measuring with our eye, but there are tools that you can measure the wavelengths and things like
No,
that.
you're right about that. Totally, I agree with
Yeah.
that. I'm
So
saying
so there is no argument. There is no argument in that. Like we can argue about it. I see it as green. You see it as like green plus yellow or something like that. Like. But if we want to, like, we can figure it out. There is the tools to figure it out, right?
We
Yeah,
can
it's
come to
like a bird. A bird would be there and it would say "chee" to the mother. It's just expression. That's what we're trying to do through words, like just trying to, communicate things. So
approximate things.
yeah, like of course, there are like there's gonna be some differences, but we are communicating, and that is what essentially that is happening. So like data is coming and we are just trying to like there is a shared reality for sure that we are experiencing. There are waves coming in and we're just trying to express whatever we are experiencing in the shared reality through words basically, and they're beautiful, man. They're powerful.
So,
So,
yeah,
wha-
back to your thing.
Yeah.
Words, practical purpose. Words are for approximating and telling.
yeah,
by
but
nature they
then
are
but then we
incomplete, so
kind of
that's okay.
opened another
Yeah.
loop of words. We were like in this conversation of I was asking everyone, what does it feel like to basically feel in alignment with your inner self, which is, he said, connection.
Mhm.
So if there were feelings, we came to these feelings, right? We came to the feeling of euphoria. You said, what did you say?
I said euphoria.
Both of you said
Love,
euphoria,
expression.
love,
I would
Peace,
say
excitement,
satisfaction.
ease.
ease,
Honestly,
yo,
It's
That's the word.
very smooth. Like
flowing. Yeah.
words.
then
Ease and
to
smooth.
Yes.
again, there's no separation. It's like butter.
Good
Yo,
man.
butter is a
Three
feeling
words.
buttery.
Ease, smooth,
Love
butter.
it. Yeah, okay. Awesome. So basically, we could say whenever we are feeling like euphoric, excited, joyful, loved, and loving, and in the buttery flow, we're aligned with our true self.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. That's what I wanted to bring to the table. So,
She got
so
butter.
basically, if you wanna be aligned with who you truly are, you can just like allow your emotions to be your guide. And whenever you're feeling those emotions, you're like going in the flow of life. Otherwise, you're kind of like not.
But when you
flowing
say who you truly are,
yes,
so is there a that which you are not?
well, I would not say that it's not.
But isn't that
It's
the
But it ex-
implication?
yeah, I
like,
mean
of-
words. You know
No,
what I
it's-
meant to basically say, that it's able to express itself through you in a very smooth way. That's it. I mean,
right? No,
we-
but I'm just interested as a concept
yeah,
in the other,
yeah,
right? Because
I-
when you say that, okay, like, okay, I feel blissed out. Okay, I agree with all of that stuff. Like, I'm feeling like buttery smooth. I'm in alignment with myself, and like, everything is like bam, 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 like
Yeah.
awesome. But what is the opposite of that?
it's just contrast. Basically, you're
Then if you're not aligned with yourself, then
I
what is
wouldn't say-
happening in that state? Like, are you
Yeah.
aligned with another?
no, it's just
Like, there's like
Then you're looking for alignment. You don't know where it is.
no. I would say it's just
But
a
what is
different
non-alignment if you're
experience.
looking?
It's just a different experience,
Yeah, different
and
But that's
when
a
you
state
have
of
like
mind.
when your inner self is not expressed
not
in
opposite something, it could be anything.
like this
So how is it an opposite
expanded
something?
form. It's still you, of course. It's
Mhm.
just a different experience, and
Okay, maybe if I had to like think of it one way, it's
Yeah.
like there's the motor in the bike, and there's a
Yeah.
chain, and there's the tires,
yeah,
and
Okay.
there's always the motor, and like, yeah, either if it's aligned, then maybe
yeah,
everything is going smoothly,
yes.
and if like
Correct.
there's some rung in the chain that's like a bit messed
Then
up,
you have
then
to
things
like
are,
go to the mechanic shop and like do some repair.
yeah, but
and
then there
stuff.
is no other.
No. You're always it in all your emotions. Yeah.
Mm.
But it's like smoother alignment.
Cool, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, that was random, as random as I can think of. Yeah.
Guys, my birthday is coming. You can give me gifts. I love your gifts.
What do you think about the concept of birthdays?
Just to extract gifts from friends. A chance. That's it.
What gifts did you get in your last birthday?
I got a phone.
Oh, that's a nice gift. Yeah,
What about you?
my birthday.
Like,
Nobody gave me any gifts.
What do you see birthdays as?
Point. I mean, like.
Pointless.
Pointless.
But actually, I've had a good time in the last few birthdays and stuff. But I don't see the point of putting any effort towards birthdays. But I mean, I don't really know. Like, shit, man. It's like seemingly simple things getting like super complex in life. Yeah. So I'm sort of like with birthdays,
different.
I'm like in this really, yeah, it's a interesting spot, I
You
would say.
forget.
Right, because like personally for me, I just see them pointless, truly. Like, it's just another day. Like, who the hell cares, man? It's like every day is another day anyways.
What
right?
if you get a car on your birthday?
That's
Yeah,
awesome. I
it's
mean, I'm
happening
still-
every year on the same day, same day of the month.
Right,
I also think it's pointless.
right. But then what I
But
have,
you're also getting things every day.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
us.
But that special day, you give me a gift.
Okay, I'll give you a gift.
but what I've been noticing like recently is like it's like a cause for celebration, and then people
Yeah,
get
it's nice.
together and they have
Yeah.
a good time, and then like
It's
some
like-
people put in the effort to, and I enjoy all of that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it myself.
Right.
Like yesterday was Sitara's birthday, and I had a wonderful day.
Yeah.
And then
But
G
if he
Man's
had,
birthday,
if he had to do it for a girl,
yeah, I wouldn't do it. Like, I wouldn't organize all of those things and then do all of those things. And like, yeah,
if you want something,
even
from
for
him, you
myself
can
or
tell
for
him,
anyone else.
I want a gift.
Yeah.
Few gifts are also okay.
Birthday is just an excuse to celebrate.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
yeah,
I could say
yeah.
so, yeah.
And it's nice, man. I think when we were living in tribes, people were like, we had all these days where people were just coming together and celebrating, because why not do it? What else to do in life? You know, you just like getting food, and in the evening, what do? You know, play some music and dance. Said dance aligns
That's
human.
it. Yeah, I
It
guess.
does.
Awesome. Then it's kind of starting to drizzle, and I think that's about it for today's episode of Random Talks. And thank you so much, everyone, whoever that is that watched
Do
that.
subscribe and
Follow
like
follow Gaia Stays 369.
on Instagram.
Follow
For-
Lazy Man's
For
Cafe
more
on
shameless
Instagram.
promoting, this video was shot at Lazy
join
Man's,
Lazy Man's
Art
University.
Cafe. Yeah, and here comes Jamila bringing in some gifts.
Oh my god, so cute.
Thank you and bye bye.
Bye bye.